Hey everyone, it's Eddie here. Welcome back to my channel, and I've got part 2 here of how I level up my Brayer off sheets with just a few simple things like stencils, like water, and just a variety of paints and a little imagination and experimentation. That always helps too, right? And I'm using this first stencil here to leave the fish design behind on the plate so I can then take a print from the previous video, lay it down right on top of that, and then pick up that really cool graphic print onto the gel print. Turned out pretty good. I just wish that the design extended to the edges. Unfortunately, I only have an 8x10 version of the stencil, but if I had the 9x12, it would have filled up this 8.5x11 sheet. But I'm not going to let that stop me. So I just go around and pick up what I can that's left over on the plate and fill up those empty edges. Another thing I like to do is alter my stencils. So here again, I'm using some Mars Black paint. And then I have one of my own stencils that I designed that I have altered, meaning I've taken a pencil, drawn out a border around it, and then cut out the actual border that comes with the stencil, so I don't get that harsh line all around my print. As you can see here, it's cut up all the way around. So you just lay it down, because I want the positive part of the stencil, positive part of the design. So I lay it down on top of the paint, pull the paint through the openings with some deli paper there, and then whatever's left behind is the positive part of the design, which then I'll put onto another gel print, and it creates a really cool effect. So you see, I took that really colorful print from before and I laid the black design over it, and it just takes it to that next level. It's like, ooh, that's what I'm going for, right? So next I'm using some titanium white paint, and I'm mixing it with some acrylic paint extender. Some brands call it the retarder, some brands call it an extender. It's the same thing. It allows you to work longer with your gel paint, with your acrylic paint. It thins the paint out a little bit as well, obviously, because you're adding something fluid to it. And as far as amounts or a ratio, check out the manufacturer's instructions to let you know how to use their product in proportion to the paints that you're using. For the retarder that I have from Blick, I believe it is 4:1 paint to extender, and I kind of stick to that. Sometimes I do a little bit more if I just want the paint a little thinner, and it works well. It's great too if you cannot afford the golden open paints, which can be a little bit pricey. If you can't afford that, or if you're not at that level yet, get yourself some acrylic extender and play around with that, and you can do all sorts of stuff with it. And like I said, play with the paint longer before it starts drying up. And you see here the white worked in the same way the black did. It covered up some of that design, but with the openings, it covered up the print, but with the openings of the stencil design, you get all those pops of color coming through, which just makes it really cool. As you know, this is one of my must-haves. This is the Golden Fluid Acrylic Azo Gold paint, and it's a really wonderful paint, wonderful color to have in your stash, let's say. Watch what it does to this print. This print is totally transformed with that one layer of paint. Like, to me now, this looks like a cityscape with buildings lined up there, and so I definitely have a lot of options with that print. For this one, I'm going to add a little bit of water, loosen up my my Azo Gold, and I want to create those cellular marks that you see here. The paint separates, and the water helps you do that. Oftentimes, the fluid acrylics will Now with this one, I'm going to use a light coat of this bismuth yellow. It's a golden acrylic, just a regular medium body paint, but it's a beautiful color. And with any paint, if you roll it out thin enough, it's not going to overpower your print. And for this one, I'm adding a stencil, and I'm going to pull that paint through the stencil to give me some really cool pops of yellow on that Brayer off. This is another one of those stencils that comes with a border on it when you order it from PM Artist Studio, but I went ahead and just cut off the border. Really easy, just straight lines pretty much all the way around, and that avoids, again, any straight edges when you're printing with it. And a tip I've learned from Patricia over at PM Artist Studio, she recommends, if you want to alter a stencil, she recommends that you get yourself an 8x10. It has more border to it, so it gives you more space to create your altered border with. And I thought that's a really, really good tip, because when you order a 9x12, oftentimes you get about a 1/4 inch border, so it may not give you enough space to do what you want to do. You notice I'm using my knuckles here. It's because there's so many little openings in this. I really want to get in there, so the knuckles work well. Now, I'm not super happy how this one turned out, but whatever. It's just paint. I can add more or just put some white gesso on it and start over. But this is the cool part. So I'm going to let that dry. Now come back in with this really inexpensive gold metallic paint that I'm going to use as an interference layer, just to block in that yellow, to lock it in. And then I'm going to pull it with this violet. And what that middle layer of the gold metallic is doing is it's isolation layer, that's the word. Isolating the yellow color, because if I were just to put the purple down over the yellow, it could turn the yellow a shade of brown. So to avoid that, I use the isolation layer to create a barrier, and then I put the purple down on that and then pulled my print. And you see when I pull it up, it looks just awesome. Now this is one of the few prints in this video and in the previous one that I actually let sit and dry completely. Most of the pulls that I'm doing in these videos are called quick pulls, so you don't really let them set on the plate too long. And see here, I'm struggling because this one had a few layers, but look at that. You still get the purple. It's kind of gone like a winey red, but I really like it. I love how that turned out. And you get the sheen from the gold too. Color shift paints come in handy when you're doing this sort of technique with your brayer offs, because it's a transparent color that also adds some shine and interest. So you can use it to glaze over these brayer offs and create a really cool effect for yourself. That looks great. For this next print, what I'm going to do is take some yellow ochre, lay it down on the plate, and I'm going to put down a decent amount on the plate simply because I want whatever's left over underneath the stencil to still be usable. And sometimes my yellow ochres dry quickly. So I'm giving myself enough paint here, and I'm putting down Paula Keen's stencil Marble Run, which is a really fun stencil. And then I'll put the print over that and pull the paint through the stencil. And one thing you should know when you're putting paint to paint, so basically if you're like what I'm doing here is I'm pulling paint off the plate onto an already painted surface, sometimes it doesn't come up completely, or it can be patchy in some spots because the acrylic paint tends to want to resist the other acrylic paint. It doesn't always, but sometimes if it's thick enough, it will do that. And that's why I like to use a thicker layer of paint so that I get a nice, good coverage of that paint. And obviously it's opaque, so it gives you a really cool look to the design. Gives it a nice contrast. That's what I'm trying to say, contrast. I had enough for another print. Let's pick up whatever's left in there with some of this craft deli wrap or deli paper. Let's see which other print I want to work on. Some of these I think are pretty done, but let's go through and see what I can work on. Magenta and pink it is. All right, I'm back to my titanium white, and I'm going to use the weave stencil again because I think the white against that magenta would look really cool, but I don't want to cover too much of it up, and I think using this uh, woven stencil would be really achieve that goal really well. See what I mean? It gives you enough white for contrast, but it doesn't overpower the print. For this, I believe this is my last one. The square stencil here. This is just one of my designs that I cut for myself, and it's on a different material. It's on Mylar, but it's just simple. It's just squares, and I'm gonna do the white paint again with this one. Put it onto that print there. You see that I did the yellow ochre with just a few minutes ago. Very simple, but really effective and gives you great contrast. Thank you guys for joining me today. I had a lot of fun with with these two videos, playing around and getting all painty. And I hope you enjoyed it too. If you did, don't forget to hit a like and subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. Those two things help this channel go way further. So thank you so much and have a great day. Bye.